Hi, and welcome back to C5 Living as a Quad. I want to talk about safety. As a quad, one of the typical things that happen is we become fearful of things we can no longer control. I think one of the biggest fears for a new quad is what happens if I fall down? What do I do? First of all, chances are you are going to fall at some point in time, but it's not as bad as it seems usually. The fear of the falling is much worse than actual falling. Being a worrier myself and an ex-Boy Scout, I always think back to the Boy Scout motto of be prepared. My way of dealing with the fear of the unknown is to be as prepared as possible. So I try and think ahead of time of all the ways I might react to different things. Over the following videos, you'll see things that I'll show you that I've created to help avoid accidents happening. But I think back to when I got my first car, and I knew that being in an environment where there's winter storms, that being out in the car, if something would have happened to the car, I could be in a bad situation. So I had to make sure I planned for that. In my first car, which was back in the late 80s, I had a CB radio. There was no cell phones at the time and no car phone, so I had a CB radio. In case of an emergency, if my car ever broke down, I could always call for help. The modern day equivalent of what I have is my cell phone. I have it with me almost all the time in case something happens. I have a late model iPhone which has the ability to call Siri on it. I don't need to touch the phone to unlock it. I just talk to Siri and she will do what I tell her. So if, for example, I would have fallen on the floor, I would just call Siri and ask them to call my brother, for example, on speakerphone so I could tell him what was happening. I have it with me in the home, in the car, so if my car breaks down, I can call for help. I have an automated door locking system that is activated by my phone. At one point in time, I wasn't able to reach my phone because it had actually fallen on the floor face down when I was in bed. And so I used my old home phone, which is I have by the bed as well, and called my brother who was out of the country, but nonetheless able to unlock my front door for me on the phone. So by having that kind of electronic access, it made life much easier to deal with when there's an issue. Again, I think a phone, whether it's with Siri or Alexa or whatever program you might have, is something that's very important to us, so that it's always there with us if something were to happen. So although we can't plan for everything that goes wrong in life, I strongly suggest that you at least give some serious thought to how you might react to something happening, and if you were in absolute need of requesting help from somebody who wasn't around. If you like what you see, please subscribe, and if you have any suggestions for topics or any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them on the site. Thank you.